Hello, 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 and welcome to the conversation. I am so happy and so excited that you are here with me. Welcome to the conversation with Andrea B. Flintroy. I am your host, and I am just so excited that you are here. You know, the conversation is a space, it is a place where we have open, honest, transparent conversations. We talk about things that are uncomfortable. We talk about things that can help bring healing, that can break strongholds. The conversation is a place where we give awareness to women. And so we are here to help women, again, to be educated, to be empowered, and to definitely be encouraged. Because one thing I like is for the conversation is to help women to know that they are not by themselves, that you are not alone. No matter what you're going through, no matter what your situation look like, you are not by yourself and you are not alone. And so we are here as a community, as a group of women, to just rally around each other and to build this sisterhood, to build this community. Again, to just say, you're not by yourself. Where do you need the help? Where do you need us? And so, again, welcome to the conversation. Now, if you are not a part of the conversation community and you're saying, like, this is your first time on the conversation, I'm so glad that you're here. But if you are not a part of the conversation community, you can definitely be a part of the community by three ways: like the conversation, share the conversation, and make a comment, because the conversation is not only a discussion or a dialogue between me and my guest, but it's also one between you, my guest, and I, and between us and the community, because the conversation is here for you. This is what it's for. We are here to bring things to you, to bring discussions to you, to bring conversations to you. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, mother. My mom says hello. So let's give her a quick shout out. Hello, 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 mom. And anyone else, just welcome, welcome, welcome to the conversation. But without any further ado, let me introduce my guest to you. Today we have Whitney. Yay! Whitney is my P2P sister. Whitney is a woman of excellence. She is a woman who is on a mission to support a generation of leaders whose power and voice has been silenced, overlooked, and undervalued in their personal and professional life because of the unsettled emotions and experiences that they've been through. Whitney helps them to find their value and their identity and the ideas through personal development and visual communications. Oh my goodness, she's going to tell us so much about it. Now, she encourages for us to have an impactful, open, and heartwarming and transforming the way that leaders can regain courage, confidence, and community that they have so long sought out for while pursuing their goals to transform their lives, their businesses, and their communities. Oh my goodness. Now, look, with me just sharing that much about Whitney, you know, like I know, how dynamic and how powerful this woman is. Okay. So, this is my P2P sister. I'm so happy again to have her on here to be our guest, to teach us and to tell us the value in our identity, how we identify the value in our identity, what that is, and to give us more awareness of the value that we hold as women and as individuals. So, again, without any further ado, let's welcome Whitney to the conversation. Welcome, Whitney, to the conversation. How do you do?
Hello, 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 beautiful. How you doing? I am so happy to be here. I'm excited about the conversation. And it's just going to be just that, the conversation. And
Yes.
identity is definitely, something really sticky, but it's
Hmm.
personal, and it's a conversation that definitely needs to be had.
Yes, and you are so right. We really do need to have this conversation because a lot of times we feel like we don't have any worth or we don't have any value when we look at ourselves. And so and then especially in our identity, in our image. And so for you to be able to come on to the conversation and to help us as women to see our identity and our value, just thank you so much, so much. So can you give the community a little bit about how do we find the value in our identity? What is the value in our identity?
Yeah, for me, or just for us women, the value in our identity is to learn from others, but more importantly, understand that we don't need to become others because we are all
Mm,
individuals and we have our own uniqueness, and that needs to be shown out in whatever way, form, and fashion. Whatever you
mhm.
were created and called to do, it's important that you have your own identity.
Yes, you're right. And like I love how you just said that we are all unique. So that means that we are all individualized individuals. Like, no one has my same fingerprint. So, this is who I am. So tell us more about the value in our identity and how do we gain that confidence to find our value?
Whew.
Looks like you got a story right there.
Listen, so for me, it was just me being by myself,
Hmm.
me being alone. And a lot of people aren't able to do that. They need to be in the noise, or, in the knowing of who you are.
Hmm.
And in the reality, it's just about you just sitting still and understanding what you like, what you don't like, what you are open to do, what you are not open to do, and just grow from there.
Hmm. Yeah. And so how do we bring this together with I know you help people to be able to, I guess, speak their identity or show their identity in a visual sense. So how would you help someone to put that together so they can make the visual, I guess, like in their how their identity is shown? How is their identity shown in their businesses? Let me just say that. And then you give me the how it's all put together.
Okay, so their identity is shown in their business by literally understanding who they are as a person. So it starts with
Mhm.
the root of who they are. So if you have a lot of unsettled emotional experiences
Mhm.
that, are unsettled, they're going to show in your business,
Mhm.
and they're going to show in the relationships that you keep. So for
Mhm.
me, a little bit of background about myself: growing up, being raised by my grandmother and living in a single family household, I witnessed things differently, but I tended to go with the flow because it was the normal thing to do. And anything outside of that was frowned upon, which led to, being falsely mislabeled as mean, weird,
Mhm.
disrespectful, and just to name a few. But what I discovered, later on, those were generational cycles of dysfunction.
Yeah.
And that's a taboo topic today that we really can't speak about, but it's important to, talk about having those honest and hard conversations, especially with, people that matter the most to you. It helps you
Yeah.
understand you more, and it helps you understand, you know, what you are called to do.
Mhm. Mhm. So, and you talk about the cycle of dysfunction that's in the families. How do we identify those cycles of dysfunction? Like, what does cycles of dysfunction look like?
Yeah. So when there's an issue that, arises in the family and you want to ask questions about it, but the conversations are either off limits, you can't talk about them,
Mhm.
they're either laughed off, pushed
Gotcha.
underneath the rug, or resulted in heated arguments or going months or years without talking, without explanation. For me, that didn't sit too well with me because I want to learn more. I'm the individual that loves to learn. I'm a lifetime learner. So growing to, have more understanding, respect, and love for myself, for God,
Mhm.
and for others, it was important for me. It's important for me to, have those hard and honest conversations because you learn that way.
Mhm. Mhm. And so how were you able to have those hard conversations? Sometimes it's you wanna have those hard conversations, but then I can remember when someone says, like, "You wanna know, but you really don't wanna know." And so it's like, how do you get to that place where not only did you think about those situations, or you thought about those questions and the answers that you wanted, but how did you get to the place to really ask for those answers?
It took a lot of praying. it took a lot.
Yeah.
It took a lot of praying. I'll share a story that I
Okay.
have. It was about 10 to 13 years ago. I remember I would have these reoccurring dreams. It was dreams of me being on a track field. Now, I've never
Mhm.
ran track, but was running, right?
Yeah.
But what would happen would I was running, but I found myself running in place. I wasn't going anywhere.
Hmm.
And that's because something or someone was holding me back. So
Ooh.
as I was trying to run fast, I couldn't go anywhere. And
Uh-oh now.
then I realized that the dreams that I was having, it was about me. It was about me, having those hard conversations again. And mm, it was the hard conversations that I had to have with my mom. And a
Yeah.
lot of people, they don't want to, talk about it because there's a lot of women can't get along or women can't do this. And I beg to differ. A lot
Yeah.
of women, we can get along. We just have to have that level of understanding for one another and for ourselves,
Mhm.
right? So it was a hard conversation that I had to have with my mom about unsettled emotional issues that caught up with me. And that's what the dream was about. It was about me running from that conversation from my mom, is because that's what we were typically told to do. We were told to brush our feelings underneath the rug. We were told to,
Yes.
just not share about what's bothering us, right?
Yeah.
So it was me having to have that conversation, and I had to share with her how I felt my identity being attached to the thoughts and actions that were not mine. They were actions of family
Mm.
members. They were actions and thoughts of, just outside of who I was. And I had to, share that, how those emotions crept up. It caught up with me, and it pretty much hindered my growth, my steps, right? So after the conversation that I had with my mom, I just remember crying, just
Yeah.
crying. I was in my closet on the floor crying, and I just remember asking God for help. I
Yeah.
said, God, help me. And in that moment, I heard a saying, rise up, child, rise up. And that's when I realized that I had control over my thoughts, my actions, and my worth was not attached to nobody else's opinion but mine. So, with
Yeah.
that conversation that I had with my mom, I was able to dig deep within myself to begin to have a more understanding, respect, and love for me, for God, and for people. And with that, I was able to regain the courage to value my identity, the
Yeah.
confidence to pursue my goals, and the community to help me live a transformed life.
Yeah.
So I feel with the enemy, they don't want you to have those conversations with the people that matters the most to you. They don't want you. But with God, he turns that all around. Once you ask him for help,
Mm.
he turns it all around. And it's really important for us women to know that mother and daughter bonds still exist. They're
Yeah.
really important. And even with sons and dads and sons bond, they are very important. And all of that has to do with our roots and how we grew up, because our parents, our aunts, siblings, they are our first teachers. They are our first mentors.
So
And
true.
if something is off or dysfunction about it, how are we going to grow as the individual? And it was then when I realized I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do
Yeah.
something to help me. I wanted to do something to help my family, and I wanted to do something to help those that are connected to me. And that was me digging deep within myself, discovering who Whitney was, and understanding that Whitney is that individual that's looking for a well done from above and not from nobody else. So
Mm.
whatever that meant for me, if that meant for me to pursue my goals of going to school, you
Yeah.
know, going to, being in the deciding to go to school for the major that I, majored in, and just
Hmm.
having that determination to discover more about me. That was my mission. And today, a lot of women aren't able to do that because they are, still bound by the expectations of others.
Yeah.
And they have put their dreams on hold because of that. They are fearful because of the judgment, or this person is odd or weird. So it's just the falsely labels that
Hmm.
probably hold some women back, and
Hmm.
it just has to stop.
Yeah. You're so right. You're right. And I like when you said you look for the well done from above and not from other people,
Yeah.
because we are so quick to want that approval from others, to where we are, those are the things that we're chasing for someone else to give us that well done, good job, you look pretty, you look nice, I like what you're wearing, or I like the way you walk. Like, we want other people just to lift us up and to congratulate us. So, but at the end of the day, one thing about it that we never do also is we never look within ourselves to congratulate us.
Yeah.
We never stand in the mirror to say, Andrea, good job. Whitney, good job. I I, I like how you did that. I like how you kept moving forward, how you kept going on, you kept pressing, you kept doing this, or I like how, that you just got out the bed today. Cause some days I know it's rough, but you know what? Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Cause baby, you just got up. Or I'm so proud of you because you washed your face. Like, you put some clothes on today, or you combed your hair today. I'm so proud of you. Like, and it be those things. Like, I feel like it's those things that we almost like we brush over, and we never take out that time to look within us and to congratulate us. But we want someone else to give us all the accolades. We want someone else to sit here and to toot our whistle or blow our horn, tell us that we better than a bag of chips. But then what do we tell ourselves? Like, do we tell us
Right.
that, girl, you better than a bag of chips today, honey? But you're so right. And then I like how you said, when you talked about the cycle of dysfunction and being able to identify that it's the thoughts and the behaviors of our family members that have been embedded and implanted inside of us. Girl, you was teaching right there. And
Yeah,
you are so right.
the power of influence is definitely real, and it's really important to, have those hard conversations, those root conversations, because you
Yeah.
allow the people that are closest to. So let me take a few steps back. Let me share that. So after that conversation with my mom,
Mhm.
like, it opened up doors. Like, to this
Mm.
day, we could talk about anything. I'm so glad that we were able to, get those hard conversations out and have honest conversations. Those
Mm.
honest conversations help you as an individual. So having that conversation, it just definitely restored and strengthened our bond. And
Yeah.
to this day, I can call her and talk to her about anything, and that's because I was able to have that conversation. Um, and this is kind of like an emotional part, but the point that I would like to, I guess, point out is that when you have those hard conversations
Mhm.
with your parents, mom, dad, siblings, families, whoever, it benefits you.
Mm.
It helps strengthen you. It helps give you an understanding of who you are. It helps give you an
Mhm.
understanding or respect level of you. And it
Yeah.
helps you love yourself better. And if you think about it on the flip side, if you don't have those hard conversations, a lot of things could happen. That person or whoever you need to have that conversation with, they could pass away. You're left with the discomfort or the dislike about the experience because you wasn't able to talk about it. Or then you are carry on that dysfunction or that dislike through your lifespan, and then you'll end up having the thoughts and the actions of that person that you didn't talk to, right?
Mhm.
And that's something that we don't want. We don't want to take on someone else's identity. God created
Ooh.
us as individuals. We are individual leaders. We have a responsibility on our hands, and I believe my responsibility is to speak, to help those who have been silenced, overlooked
Yeah.
value in their life, to let them know that their identity is valuable. They have
Mhm.
value in their identity along with their ideas, because another topic that's a taboo topic is that um, that runs in the dysfunctional family is that when we share our dreams with the ones that are closest to us, they knock them down, and that
Yeah.
attacks your personality and your identity too. And they don't realize that. Me, I'm a person of words. My love language is, words of affirmation. And
Yeah.
what that means for me is that even if I'm affirming myself, you could say, I see that you're doing this because you set this out for yourself. I appreciate you for that. I
Mm.
appreciate you inspiring me to do more for myself so I can help someone else behind me. Because at the end of the day, I have nieces and nephews that I
Yeah.
love dearly. Not even that, I have my own son. And that is my responsibility to say or to do what I am called to do, to show them that it is possible. We can break these cycles of this dysfunction and start living
Mm.
our lives as the individuals that we are created to do.
Yeah.
And going back to the points, when you have those conversations, you could either, you know, strengthen the connection, you can either weaken the
Mhm.
connection, or you could pretty much have a lifelong connection. And that's what I want. I want a lifelong connection.
Yeah. Ooh, wee. And you know what? Again, you're so right, because it's in those connections that we gain that support. And also when I look at the connection, I look at it within ourselves. That, like you said, to have that conversation, it's really the purpose of to have a healing for yourself, and not necessarily for the other person, but for you. And I look at that the same way as like for forgiveness. Like
Yes.
forgiveness is mainly it's for you. It's for your own
Mhm.
inner healing. It's for your own peace, not for the other person. And we
Yes.
look for other people to forgive, or we look for other people to say they're sorry, when in all actuality they go to bed at night, they not losing any sleep, but then we're the ones losing sleep. We're the ones going through depression. We're the ones going through anxiety. We're the ones going through stress. We're the ones going having suicidal thoughts and everything else, because we are overwhelmed by whatever experience or situation that happened that was very disturbing to us.
Right.
They're going on. They're not even worried about the situation, but we've internalized it. We hold it in.
Mhm.
So forgiveness is for us.
Yes. Yes, there's true power in forgiveness and honor. And that releases a whole bunch of unnecessary weight off your shoulders. It helps
Hmm.
your mind, it helps your heart and your body. Like you live better once you're able to release those heavy burdens. Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, you don't want to walk, you don't want to tiptoe around, right? You want to be able to have the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're so right. Like you said, have those hard conversations, because again, it helps cultivate the identity that we have. It helps us to break strongholds. It helps us to loosen chains. It helps us to begin our healing journey, or to walk along that healing journey. You're so right. And all of this goes into the our value of our identity. So if you were to encourage, the women of the community, how can you encourage them to understand the value within their identity?
I would I would encourage them to keep reminding themselves of God's promises and remain grounded.
Mm. And what are some of the promises that God has made that they should remind themselves of?
So they should remind themselves that they were created in his image and his image
Yeah.
was good. So they are good. That God will never leave you nor forsake you. That God will give you peace.
Mhm.
That he will help you overcome any and everything. And that he has plans to prosper you as an individual. And then the most important thing, his unconditional love. It's
Yeah.
unwavering. It's not changing. It's his love. So once we ground ourselves in his promises, we can be free. We could
Mhm.
value who we are as individuals.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, you're so right. Oh my good, yeah. Thank you. It reminds me of when you talk about our value, um, that we have in our work. It reminds me of a post I just made this week, and it talks about broken crayons can still color. And in the broken crayon it talks about these experiences that we've had that have broken us. It talks about the trauma that we've gone through. It talks about tragedies that we've had, but no matter what, and all in all, we still have purpose. And like you said, we still have value. And so we just have to remember those promises that God has given us and has made to us. Like he told us also, he will give us beauty for our ashes. There's beauty in our ashes.
Yeah.
So even though someone else might look at us and think that we are nothing, but there's still beauty in us. There's still value in us. We are still here, and also I think about this, he said, that we're the head and we're not the tail, like we're above and not beneath. Girl, yes. So it is so much value and so much in the promises that God has given to us and has made to us. But like you said, you got to remember those promises, because those are the promises that's going to help us to continue to move on, to continue to have something to hold on to. Because, some days we feel like we don't have an ounce of nothing to hold on to. But if we just hold on, to just one of those promises, two of those promises. You just hold on to some promises, you know, and then we'll be all right. We'll be good. So you're right. And I just want to say thank you so much for helping the women to understand and see the value within their identity, and also to be able to see that dysfunction that takes place in our families,
Yeah.
because the dysfunction can look like so many things. I think about the dysfunction of molestation. I think about the dysfunction of generational curses. I think about those dysfunctions of, of addictions, alcoholism, um, substance abuse, like all of those dysfunctions that can happen. And then just in the and dysfunction of a family just being loud and rowdy, and just all the yelling and the anger in the home, so much,
Yeah.
but can be passed down through generations to generations to generations. And like you say, and I like how you call it a cycle of dysfunction. I'm about to use that, so I'm just gonna let you know that term is tough.
Have it. Have it. Have it.
Look, I'm about to use that with my clients. I like that because to me, it sounds better. Whenever I say the word trauma, a lot of people hear the word trauma and it's like it makes them uneasy.
Yeah.
And really, trauma is nothing more than something that was disturbing that happened to you. We look at trauma
It's a
as
wound.
though,
Yeah.
huh?
It's a
What you say?
wound. Yeah. A
Yes.
wound.
Yes, exactly. And you're so right. That's exactly what it is. It's a wound. It's a wound that needs to be healed. You better come on and talk about it. Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's another one. Took, sis, took. I'm taking that one too.
Have it. You can have it.
It's like I say, I try to get away from the word trauma because, like I say, it does make people so uneasy. But then to be able just to say the cycle of dysfunction. So now we might be able to receive it better and to see it better when we just talk about it's just a cycle of dysfunction. That's all it is. And so now we feel like we can manage that a little bit better, or we can talk about that a little bit better, and express that more. So thank you, sis. Took and took.
Have it. It's all yours.
Look, one and two, I got them both. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here on the community. You heard it, TC. I got them. But again, thank you so much for encouraging us and reminding us to see the value in our identities, and not wait for someone else to speak over us, but we should be able to speak over ourselves first, because it's about who we are. Like you said, we was created in God's image, and he made us great. He made us wonderful. He made us awesome. He made us amazing. Like we better than a bag of chips, because I know I am. Like my grandmother say, baby, I'm the cat's meow.
That's
Okay.
right.
Show enough. Show enough. All right. But TC community, oh my goodness. I hope that you enjoyed it. I see my mom over here clapping. Yeah, girl. Grandma said we the cat's meow. There we go. But I do want you all, Whitney, tell the community, where can they find you? How do they connect with you?
Yeah, sure. So actually, launching this November, I'm developing a new digital guide that's called the Transform Identity,
Mhm.
powered by a sound mind. The your My process of how to overcome experiences and how to move past that. So it's more so on a new perspective of personal development. So if you want to learn
Mhm.
more, you can go to whitneynapoleon.com/products, and you can subscribe there, or you can find Facebook and Instagram at I am Whitney and
Ooh, all right, y'all. That sound like it's ooh. I like that. A power of a sound mind. Come on now. So tell us a little bit. Okay, also before we get ready to go, how did you get into the business of helping women to find the identity in their values in the visual brands? How did you get into that?
great question. Growing up, like I wanted to be a multimedia designer for Pixar, so an animation company. So
Yeah.
me being a graphic designer in the creative industry, I've experienced a lot of, varieties of corporations and, how things work. But in this of my setback 13 years ago, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that visual identity extends so much more than business. It goes within. So my passion for visual identity or visual communication, it helps you visually show what you represent, show you who you are, and it represents what's inside of you. So it's a visual representation of who you are. So
Yeah.
because a lot of women or leaders in itself, they are taking on the thoughts and actions of others, they really don't know who they are. So having me show them their ideas visually, it helps them understand who they really are because it's coming from within them.
Yeah.
So dreams, ideas are deposits from God. So whatever you have inside of you, it was deposited in you for you to live out and to show out. So me helping you visually articulate that is really important because it'll help you be confident in who you are.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. So y'all heard it here. Y'all heard Whitney speak about how she got into it, just helping women, helping individuals, find that value in their identity and their visual brands. And like she says, it goes further than that because it all starts within you and you knowing who you are. Um, and yeah, so connect with Whitney. You have her website, www.whitneynapoleon.com. Look her up on her socials as I am Whitney NM. So y'all definitely hit her up. And just remember, like she's here to help you and to guide you, to encourage you, to educate you, to help you build that confidence and that courage so that when you step out that baby, that the value in your identity is worth more than you can think or imagine. That's what you tell somebody, baby. My worth is more than you can think or imagine. Hello. Awesome, 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 awesome. Again, thank you so much, Whitney, for coming on to the conversation and speaking to the conversation community. All right, TC community. Now, we're going to be back here again next Wednesday. I want to see y'all here next Wednesday as we come back again with another amazing, amazing, amazing guest. You know how it goes down. You know what we do. Now, again, if this is your first time joining the conversation and you are not a part of the community, come on now. What you waiting on? You can be a part of the community by three ways: like the conversation, share the conversation, and make a comment. Oh, yes, you are so right. It is not on Wednesdays. We are here on Thursdays. I am glad somebody correct me. You are absolutely right. We are here on Thursdays and not Wednesdays. But again, to be a part of the TC community, like the conversation, share the conversation, and make a comment because the conversation is here for you. It is here for you. We are here to have open, transparent honest conversations. And these conversations, this space of the conversation is to break strongholds, to bring awareness, to begin that healing journey. This is what is here. This is what it's for. And the guests, they come on and they talk about their personal experiences and how it has helped them to be, how it has helped them cultivate the person that you see who they are today. So they are becoming, but again, who they are today and who you see and how they stand tall and how they walk and how they remember the promises that God has made them. So I just want to say good night to everyone. Thank y'all so much for joining the conversation. And remember, show the world who you are, and don't you allow the world to tell you who you are. I want y'all to have a blessed night. See you next week.